lovely people who aren't watching. I know. The thought of us two is just too much for you to handle. I get it. But
Thanks for tuning in later, because we know you're all watching.
yes, even from afar, or pretend not to, and you just can't help it. You just can't stay away. But welcome to another month, another talk spot, another round of bitching and shite. We already started, got into steam, full steam before we began. Because of course Cameron goes, "How's your week going, Colin?" I'm just like,
Yeah.
That what it is, he does it deliberately to get out of his system, so I don't say all the naughty words. That'll get us banned forever. And
yeah, gotta taper it out a little bit.
Yeah,
just get the bulk of it done. That way, when we get into it, it's only a little bit.
Yeah, and then sometimes we might actually talk about horror, but fuck it.
Maybe we'll
maybe
see.
we
might talk about it this week too.
Yeah, there's a chance. You know what I mean? There's always a chance. But I'm just saying, I am sick and tired of lazy wee shites. Just don't have a day's work in them. It's starting to really grind my gears now.
Yeah,
I'm at an age where I should be dialing back, but instead I'm ramping up. It's weird.
Yeah, it's sad that we have become those old guys now that are like, kids these days don't know how to work. They got shit work ethic. But it's like, it's fucking true, man.
It's like, you don't believe it until you see it. It's like,
I do minimum of 50 hours a week, and that feels like nothing to me. Like, I used to pull 60, 70 hours a week regularly, and that was normal. So I feel like I've dialed back a bit, and I know people in the industry less than me that pull less than that and still bitch about it. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's weird, but I've always worked. That's the thing that grinds my gears. I have always, from I was a teenager, I had a paper round. That was my first proper job. You may as well say, because you're doing a job, you're earning money. So I had a paper round. I ended up working on the news agents that ran the newspaper. So I became the guy going around the paper round, the one dishing it out and coordinated it all. Then I worked in the shop. Then I went out and that was the thing during the week. Our forklifts work on a gas, work with a gas canister.
Mm-hmm.
So we get the delivery of gas, and everyone's confused about how to lift gas canisters. And I'm like, I was 15, throwing these things about, like delivering to people's houses and stuff.
That's fucking
as a job as well as school, like as what I did in the weekends. Like, how the hell? What has happened to the world that people don't understand? Like basics, and I'm no Superman. I'm an old fat waster. And I've had soft office jobs as well for quite a bit of my time, so it's not as if I'm some hardened fucking what is it, blue collar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that the color? Collars matter over there, don't they? Right, so blue collar work. I'm just me. I'm a weirdo. I've done weird shit, but I am just sick and tired, and I don't fit in anywhere because I'm doing, physical jobs, and I can't stand the fucking drongos that they bring in. They just can't tie their own shoelaces. But I've also done corporate jobs, and I can't stand the drongos that they bring in. They can't tie their own shoelaces. I don't get the lack of common sense or basic. Instead of creating all this bullshit and fucking meetings about meetings and fucking crying and bitching, just do the job in front of you.
Right.
Stop skiving off. If you actually put half as much effort into the job, it would be easy and there'd be less stress. But people are just fucking doing the bare minimum, skiving off, and every excuse they can. Oh, my pinky's sore. Fucking...
Right.
And I'm back at that. I think I talked about this before. That document management company. So I'm doing that on the weekends. So it's the second job, just to get a wee bit of extra nerd money for buying random shit.
Yeah.
Build up.
But you gotta have.
Yeah, because got to do another 5 unboxing videos with like random shit that nobody else cares about.
Fuck yeah.
Got to be done, But they've actually stopped people because you've the in between each box. It's paper. It goes through a ruler. So you have to clean the ruler between each box. They've actually, a supervisor has to do it now because the dumb bastards keep injuring themselves. Like they can't fucking get a bit of cloth with a bit of spirit and clean a bit of roller, turn the machine on just low speed. They can't do that without. So they've sent about, apparently, because I'm only hearing this, I'm coming in on Saturday, and obviously this is all going on during the week. fucking 3 people at the hospital because they're dumb bastards.
Jesus.
How can people be that thick? I don't get it. I'm just getting more confused.
I used to do hard drugs and not sleep for days on end and still go work at a printing press and never once hurt myself. Well, okay, that's a lie. I hurt myself smoking a cigarette there once because I wasn't paying attention and I dropped it. But other than that, like big heavy machinery that could take a fucking finger and nothing.
Yeah,
I don't understand people.
When I was in the army, I'd go out in the lash. I'd come in fucking steaming and sign the keys to the kitchen out from the guardhouse and fucking go on duty. Fucking deep fat fryers, ovens, fucking knives, crack on, just blitz down in my head and get the job done. They can't get that. Actually, I remember back in because we were having trouble. All the fucking young sprogs were coming in and they were going out for a few beers and coming in wrecked the next day. I'm like, right, you're going to fucking learn. And I took them all out in the piss. And I had them absolutely nailed. And guess what? You're on duty like all day with me. And I just marched them straight into fucking work afterwards.
Oh, that's awesome.
And by the end of that, they kind of learned, like, now you fucking suffered. Understand, if you can't do it, don't. You know what I mean? If you can't work and play, fucking don't play.
Right. Yeah, I feel like as an adult, you should understand that shit.
But it's just getting
common sense.
It's getting worse. An adult, like, what is an adult these days? Because you've got fucking 30-year-olds running around like babies.
That's true.
Living at home.
I think it's because everybody read The Hobbit as a kid, so they don't feel like they're an adult until they hit 33.
I read The Hobbit. It's the first fantasy book.
Yeah, but you didn't take it literally. I feel like a lot of people did.
No. Just strange times. But anyway, how's your life going?
Way better than that. I just have a random plague carrier living with me at the moment, and that's an interesting one. I never thought I would have a roommate again, and turns out it's my dad who's going to be staying the summer with me. So, yeah, that's been interesting.
It's a bit of an interesting dynamic, isn't it? You're just...
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. Like, my dogs, they have a weird bathroom schedule because the one was on steroids for a while, and it kind of changed how he does things. So I get up every morning at 4 to let him out. Now, when I get up, I'm not awake. Like, it's 4 in the fucking morning. I went to bed like in 2 or 3 hours before that, so I'm not actually awake. But it's gotten to the point where every time I go let them out, that's when my dad's getting up to go to work and getting ready and shit. So he'll have these heart-to-heart conversations with me, and I'm like, man, I'm still fucking high from last night. Like, let's try not to have a heart-to-heart when I don't even know what's going on.
Or can I just nod and smile? Don't expect a response.
Right. It's been interesting.
Yeah, God, it's before I moved over your neck of the woods, I spent like it was a night or 2 nights, I think. Most because it sold my house and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent my night at my mum's house. It was so weird. It's like, I don't belong here. It's just sorry coming in for a cup of tea and saying hello and stuff, but actually staying. Whoa.
Yeah, man. I would be homeless before I ever did that shit.
Yeah, because the weird thing then all of a sudden think you're 12 again or something. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Too much time's gone past.
Right.
Life is funny.
Really is.
But been an interesting one for movies. Actually, it's kind of died. We had like a whole surge of horror movies, and then it's kind of died down again. So
yeah, it kind of has.
I wonder when we're going to get the next
thing. Last one that came out was the Pope's Exorcist.
Yeah.
Who did you see that one?
No, I didn't get a chance.
So
here's a bit full on, like,
oh yeah, straight up.
Is it Van Helsing type? Over the top?
Yes, ish. So oh my god, I can't think of his name right now, but the main guy.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, there we go. Russell Crowe. Completely different movie than everybody else. Like everybody else is playing it straight lace. He is not at all. It's worth watching. It's not good, like by any means. Don't expect it to be like just amazing, like it's the fucking Exorcist or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely worth watching. Like I thought it was hilarious. But yeah,
Right.
like we haven't really had shit since then, and it's kind of like what the fuck, it's Memorial Day weekend over here on my side of the pond. This is when shit should be coming out because all the kids are going on summer vacation and stuff.
Well, I suppose it's not horror. It's not horror movies, then it's the Disney sludge.
Yeah, that's true.
All the excrement that flows out for the summer.
Yeah.
Maybe probably September again. Maybe it'll start picking up. But you need the old summer horror movie. Like you have to have. I mean, we require representation. I hate to use that word.
Right. Well, it's like we've talked about it before. Obviously, we'll talk about it again. But like horror is the redheaded stepchild that actually pulls in the money for the industry, because everybody will go see a horror movie and just give it ungodly amounts of money, even if it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was talking about that last night. Like we're so forgiving if a movie isn't terrible, like we're wondering what's going on. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
That's not right. What? Talking of we're going to do a weird one. We're going to talk about a sequel before the main movie, which
I'm fucking stoked about. Like I hope that they go into more of like where the fuck is everybody else.
Yeah, we're obviously want to talk about that during the actual review because we're missing a few people.
We're missing a lot of fucking people. Like we've got 2 characters out of a whole slew of people. But yeah, so obviously we're talking about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, but yeah, the sequel, like it's in the works right now, and I cannot fucking wait.
I tell you what, well, obviously we're going to the thing, but less than $100,000. Just talk about the Disney friggin' sludge pipe. Like their movies are millions, if not tens of millions, and they look shit.
Yeah,
like it's not about special effects. You can make good looking movies. I don't know where the hell it's going wrong. Why they need these massive budgets? Because this actually looked good.
Yeah, no, this was fucking great. Like of course, it had been like filmed and stuff prior to the copyright being up, and
it was ready for a public domain.
Yeah, so it's like when somebody's working like that, it's like real under the radar, hush hush type shit. So of course you imagine it's probably gonna be pretty low, small budget, but yeah, like as soon as I started watching it, because I was lucky enough to catch it in theaters, and man, it just immediately I forgot that it was I forgot the whole setup of the movie and was just like in a movie. So it's pretty fucking well done.
Yeah. So they're keeping their plot under wraps,
which they should.
Yeah. Well, was that it? That's a very short article. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically saying, hey, we're starting filming, and then it's based off of this, and it's already set up for distribution. So I mean, it's a legit film, and it's legit gonna come out. So
hang on a minute. So Jagged Edge, the studio, The Curse of Humpty Dumpty.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at those, and it's like,
right, okay.
The Legend of Jack and Jill, not Jack.
Wrath of Van Helsing, Return of Krampus, and Medusa. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, all of those titles, like I'm sold.
Yeah.
So,
The Curse of Humpty Dumpty. I'm wondering, does he break them apart and put them back together again?
I fucking hope so. If that doesn't happen at least once, they they missed a great opportunity.
Yes, I see our future reviews here, right here in front of us.
Yeah, 100%. This is the kind of schlocky shit that I'm all for.
And that thing, it's done with a sense of humor. That's people like, why will you not watch other stuff, and why have you like completely removed yourself from other franchises and yet you'll watch this shit? And I'm like, because it's done with the right intention and heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's done, you accept, you accept the limitations. So they're not going to be big budget. A lot of them are friends helping each other out, and it's all done with favors. So you're not getting A-list actors. You're getting somebody that's maybe I'll go back to our conversation with Calvin, like he was the lighting guy. Oh, could you stand in front of the camera for a bit? No bother. Oh, can you do it again?
Yeah.
That's the way these movies kind of work, which fair play to them. But when you know that, you do have a forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
But when something's got like stupid, ridiculous budgets and a marketing team behind it and A-list actors and an entire VFX team and special effects, and they manage to turn out, a friggin' team of scriptwriters, and they turn out absolute dog shit. Well, sorry, you have no sympathy for me. And then if you call me names as well before I even watch the movie,
right,
or show, then you've even less sympathy for me. So bye.
Yeah, but movies like this, you can tell it was just pure love that made this shit. Like I bought the disc, which obviously you guys saw the unboxing, and I immediately went through the special features last night and just watching them. It's like that's all they were doing was they were having fun. They just so happened to have a camera rolling. It was fucking great.
That's the best type of content.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best type of stuff to put out there when people are just genuinely loving their craft,
and
it's not staged or faked. There's nothing worse. I hate those. That's why nobody watches really mainstream media or late night talk show. It's so fucking fake. And the canned laughter, which is just, it's horrible. And the friggin' people reading from auto cues. No those W award ceremonies when trying to make jokes. Like, it's just cringe.
Yeah.
And there's nothing behind it, so you just don't care. Well, welcome, Chris. Good to see you.
What's up?
Just watched.
The Cocaine Bear. That's a fucking horror movie, man. I love that shit.
That's another one I haven't seen because it's the silly bent that made the Charlie's Angels reboot with Wooden Plank Girl. I called his all names, so I'm like, yeah, do you know what? You crack on half that. So then
man, you should.
If I see her name attached to anything, I'm like, nope. I see it.
You should watch Cocaine Bear. It is fucking hilarious.
I was based on a true story, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not even remotely close to the true story, and it kind of sets that up in the beginning. So then it's you pretty much know what to expect from the introduction, and yeah, it is just so much fucking fun. Like I don't remember the last time I had that much fun at a movie because I was just laughing throughout the entirety of it.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to form my own little protest when these names come up of people that have just stirred shit for no reason because they're crap. I'm just like, well, guess what? You don't get my money. And until the studios understand, well, this person's proud now. If you attach their name to something, it's not getting watched, and then they stop paying them. Like the venture capital has to run out eventually.
You would think so.
Like a certain company's in deep trouble now and it's trying its best to clamber back, but it's like damage is done. And the flipping acolytes, this company can do no wrong. It's like, it's a fucking company. They're selling a shitty product. Fucking, it's not a religious experience. Calm yourselves.
I mean, it kind of is for a lot of those people.
Yeah. Anyway, the debate will go on and go on, and there'll be something else. That's what kind of makes. That's why I never want to be like mainstream entertainment or like get in that bubble because it's just you're talking shit about nothing. Unlike our detailed intellectual conversations.
I mean, these are like super intellectually stimulating conversations that we have.
Of course, especially on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking about, shall we dive into the release?
Fuck.
Get this party started.
Hell yeah.
And of course, we're talking about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the original, even though we just talked about the sequel of the one we're about to talk about.
Yeah, this one, if you guys haven't seen it, like seriously, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's a stupid slasher in the best way possible. Like if you were to take out Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, and the whole, Christopher Robin storyline, it's just a classic slasher. So it's fucking great.
The thing is, though, like, let me start off with the premise. I enjoyed this movie. I watched it twice over 2 days to get it into my head, and I really enjoyed it. But the start and the premise is had my head scratching the whole way through it.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the introduction. Like it made sense.
I like the storytelling aspect of the introduction. That was great because it's not just using the name, if that makes sense. There's nothing worse when something, I guess, just, I'm going to use Winnie the Pooh name and have it nothing like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
This was not like that at all. But I would understand it better if Christopher Robin, as a young boy, with no say in the matter, moved house. And that was it.
The thing is, though, like,
back.
I feel like if that's what happened versus him just abandoning them, it would have been understandable and they might have been more sympathetic. But he just straight up abandoned them because he's going to go be a big boy and do big boy things.
But that's also what I don't get. To go to college. So there's no midterm break. There's no summer recess. There's no ever coming back to his family home again while he's a student.
Well, and that's the part that makes it so egregious, is the fact that he had opportunities to go back and to check on them, and he didn't. Thus, really grinding the salt in the open wound.
But then, because the opening scene's him coming back with his fiance, as if nothing, everything was all wonderful and fine.
Yeah,
that's the bit that doesn't match up. Because if he was still, if it was to go away to college, he would have talked to them, he'd have come back, he'd have visited, that bond would still be there. But to disappear for 5 years completely.
I don't know, man.
So he never came back home.
I believe it. Especially because he's a lonely kid. That's why he had them as friends, because those were his only friends. So he goes off to college, which is presumably outside of the area that he's in. And he discovers what it is to have human friends.
Plus, we say university over here is set in Britain, not Tomyankistan.
What's that?
We say university over here.
No, what? Fucking whatever.
Fucking off the... There's a lot of dumb Yankinisms in this, and it's...
Okay, so that is one thing I will say kind of threw me off a little bit, is the amount of American shit in this. Especially having just straight up American rednecks in this. It's
yeah, I've got that as a point. Weird. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And this was filmed at Eastway Woods, but the actual location that inspired A.A. Milne to write Winnie the Pooh was actually filmed in the fucking forest.
Yeah.
We don't have pickup trucks over here. It's just not a... This is white van country. We don't do pickup trucks. They're a fucking penis extension that some random arsehole might buy. And anyone who has one gets laughed at. I mean, they're as rare as rocking horse shit.
That's funny.
Because it's just not the landscape. It's not the big sweeping flat landscape that one of them things that, it would get stuck in traffic. I wouldn't be able to turn corners.
Yeah.
Try driving that bastard in friggin' London, for example. I drive twice a week in a white van in London. And even if I take the big van, I have to plan my route and make sure, hang on, this isn't happening. I'm not driving around this into people's apartments to pick up stuff.
Yeah.
and I have to pick my vehicle, depending on the locations. There's no way to get one of them bastard things anywhere. They're no use over here. This is Land Rover White Van Company. If you're going out in the sticks, it's a Land Rover. That's the vehicle, the working vehicle, not one of those. They must have imported it in just for that scene.
I mean, I believe it. It's the thing is, like, I understand the need for it, especially with the final scene. It's much more menacing than if he was trying to hop on a van, because I mean, there's a big possibility. Like,
hang on, Dog Soldiers
vans before, like
we've reviewed Dog Soldiers.
That's true. That's
a Land Rover. Remember, what's her face picked them all up in the Land Rover?
Mm-hmm.
Did that need to be a pickup truck?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. What the fuck?
Yeah. And that's the thing.
I mean, I guess it fit because of the main guy driving it was an American.
I don't know, where the fuck did they dig him up from?
That was what I was curious about.
What the hell? It's like, just insert yank here, doink.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, he's like a fucking grain of sand, you're right, fucking rubbing,
Yeah.
It's like, you do not belong here. Fucking. So, like I said, the initial premise, that's what I was scratching my head about, because Christopher Robin's coming back as if everything's all sweet and roses and he still loves his companions. Well, I'm sorry. Unless he had moved house as a kid and never told them, and they thought he abandoned them, it would still work the same. But the fact that he made a conscious decision and then all that time he never came back home and couldn't have went up.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a cunt, and that's what they kind of set up in the beginning, is that
he was a bit of his character is a bit of a little bitch anyway throughout this, so that's one thing.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
you believe me about my imaginary friends?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I believed him, but I fucking did not like him.
Yeah, at least I'm saying this is a rip-off of the 2008 Christopher Robin movie. It's the same idea that he goes away and forgets about them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, just that whole thing. Also, right, so he meets these are like human-sized, burn animals.
Mm-hmm.
And the only sustenance they had was what he was able to sneak out of the kitchen. A little picnic. So you're telling me that his little bit of cheese and his apple and stuff was enough to sustain? Like, no, don't let this fella have pets. That's all they were able to live off, until he went away.
Mm-hmm.
It's these logic, I mean, I know we're forgiven, but these sort of logic things that just stick in my head, and that's the wheel that keeps grinding while I was watching this movie.
See, I just, they're humanoid animals that talk and play with little kids. Like, I just kind of suspend disbelief a little bit when that's on the board.
It's real, goddammit. It must make sense for me to believe.
Well, and they kind of explain it like, when he found them, they were little. Obviously, through his interactions with them, they grew and they started to take on his characteristics. And by the time he left, the woods were just barren. There was nothing there. So they had to, figure out something. It got to a point, because they got used to him feeding them, that they stopped going out into the woods and foraging and stuff. And by the time that he stopped, there was nothing left anyways. So I bought it.
I suppose it's a neat way to tie it up. I think if it wasn't for the intro, like, the rest of this movie is absolute joy to watch. It's so much fun. But the thing is, they've built a house. They've got all friggin' dynamo generators for electric.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as if they're in the middle of the sticks. Like, they're right on the edge of civilization.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing that had me scratch my head about the movie, because, like, when he abandoned them, they threw off all guise of humanity. They, they stopped talking, and it's like, really, that's the only bit of humanity that they got rid of, was the whole talking thing.
Yeah, the living in a house, using
Like,
electric,
they're still,
using tools.
yeah, they're still fully clothed. I mean, fucking Pooh knows how to drive, for fuck's sake. So it's like they didn't really throw off humanity. They threw off talking.
It's the intro, I think, that just to set up for the story is what. Maybe that's why I got such bad reviews, because it does derail the rest of it. Now, I've been kind of scratching my head from last night, trying to think how they could have done it better.
I feel like the people that gave this bad reviews, they were going to give it bad reviews because of the fucking title. Like, period. Regardless of what this is. It could have been Shakespeare, and they were going to shit on it.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough, I suppose. But just like I said, it just that the premise, the setup, kind of doesn't match in with the rest of the movie, because it's like they seem to be doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they had just went. Maybe it's the eating Eeyore thing. If they had turned to hunters and not bothered eating Eeyore, maybe that's the bit that's.
Well, I don't know. Like, even then, like, I understand the necessity for that. I mean, that's what made them snap, was they ate one of their own, because that was literally the only way to survive. And I mean, presumably that's why we don't have any of the other characters. I mean, of course we don't know, because they never really spell it out.
They never even mentioned Owl or Rabbit or Tigger.
Right. Yeah, it's so. I don't know. I kind of hope that's the kind of shit that gets explained in the sequel. Not that it really matters, but it'd be nice to know what happened to the rest of the crew.
Yeah, and there's only the one grave, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's just that bit, because the way if they had been grunting in the dirt or a cave.
No, yeah, Chris, that didn't happen, unfortunately.
They're in a fully built treehouse, actually quite luxurious, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that their compound, like, I want to live in that fucking
like
compound.
Even their kill room is a separate own room. That's why that's always my complaint about serial killers. Are messy bastards, and they don't have their like kill room properly segregated and away from everything else.
Yeah, no, and they do. I mean, it's messy as fuck, but it's also like that's literally all it is there for, is to torture people. Like, they even have plumbing to torture people in that room. It's like, these motherfuckers are living better than me. Shit.
And that's what I mean. So the premise, that's what I mean. That's why the setup is so jarring with the rest of it. So I think that's the only bit they need to change, is the setup. Just make it a bit. There was barren, so they found someone who was injured in the woods and decided that nature took over, and then they decided to like it. And that's that's the bit that I'm having a struggle with, because it doesn't match with the rest of the movie and how it plays out.
I mean, they did seem to evolve pretty fast with the whole murder and shit, so that is kind of weird.
Eeyore gets eaten.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying. Eeyore gets eaten. That's the whole.
They had his tails pinned into his headstone, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, and you see that in the trailer as well. And that's. Oh, by the way, welcome Twitch. We've started streaming on Twitch now as well.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because Twitter's a waste of time. I was looking for an excuse to ditch that platform, because I want nothing really to do with it. I'll stick you a post up, but generally, it's a horrible, nasty, freaking retarded place.
Yeah,
which I have no interest.
Social media I never bothered with. Like, I think I have an account.
Someone has to promote the show. You know what I mean? Yeah. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, I show up.
But like I said, that was a bit, just that that's real, because this is actually a really tight. It's a tight drama with a tight plot. Like, there's lessons. Hollywood could take lessons from this movie. Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
even for a slasher,
the acting was fucking great. There really wasn't a weak character.
The acting. The only thing is the suits. Now, I want to see a a fur, yellow fur, and I want to see his wee pudgy belly sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm aware it's a budget constraint, but we'll want to see an evolved Pooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one.
You want the pantsless red shirt wearing bear with his fucking gut hanging out. Like, that guy is cool as shit.
Yeah, and we've seen you've seen Boar, have you?
No.
It was just me reviewed that one. I don't know if you'd seen it or not. But they can do fur and an animal, animatronics. They can do like fur on the suit.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible, and plus the way those suits were designed, it's like even the hands. They got the hands right. Like I was half expecting to see human hands because from the trailer, not they had that aspect of laziness about it, but then they were teasing it. But then you realize the detail they've actually went into to make the suit, like even the where it cuts off, they've actually got that done well. That it's not, it doesn't, it's a suit, but it doesn't look like one. And they've made an effort to actually make them characters because, yeah, it's easy to think, oh, they're just serial killers wearing costumes, but they actually made an effort, and I really applaud that.
Yeah, well, and especially with Piglet too. Like Piglet, like that was fucking.
I thought Piglet was a better character.
Yeah,
he's a sadistic wee fucker.
Mm-hmm.
And that, once again, that's something I thought they should have played with more, the sadism part, because that's why I'm saying about the intro chain. If it changed that they actually killed a human, and then they decided they liked it, then their hatred for Christopher turned into sort of, made them into like a cult or something.
Yeah,
that would have actually fitted in with the rest. And then if they had a whole room with effigies of Christopher,
right,
with knives through it. But it's a
budget. I mean, they at least had like, destroyed pictures of him. Like, oh, what is this? Why would they do this?
I just had this thing. If they had a change, it became a cult. And then that would have fitted in with their, and they don't have to kill their victims. They're playing with them. It's all part of making their ritual. God, there's so many disturbing things that they're just on the cusp. They're right there with it, if that makes sense. They could have taken this so much deeper and darker.
Well, I think the fact that they are making a sequel, like I feel like, at least I hope that they're going to delve more into that, because it definitely had to be something like that. Like if you look at the final victim before like the chase and stuff at the end, like she is beaten, bloodied, and tied up in the middle of a circle. Like there has to be some
that's
sort
Charlene's
of like
character, or Charlene's character.
Yeah, like there has to be some sort of like, I mean, I guess for lack of a better term, like some sort of religious aspect to this, because like that's purely symbolic. It has to mean something. It can't just be like, we're just fucking with her to fuck with her.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's the bit, that would have just cranked this movie up to 11. And it would have definitely, like I'm sure when the sequel comes out, because we already had the intro, so we'll just carry on with the story and we won't care. Let's be honest. And if they make it bigger, badder, and if they bring in, should Tigger be in a pogo stick, or
fuck yeah,
it should be a pogo stick, not using his tail, but should actually be and that's his murder weapon.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I was all right. What happened to Isle? Like in the scheme of things, Isle would be another apex predator, as opposed to Pooh, so they're not exactly going to eat him. Obviously, how the hell can you get the budget, I suppose, to have an actual flying? That'll be tricky.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know. I feel like with like Owl, if they were to introduce, like, it's real easy, quick, like, oh, it got his wings clipped, that's why he doesn't fly now, and then move on. So I don't know. There's really easy ways around introducing the other characters without having to like blow your entire load of the budget on just that one character. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if they introduce them and what they do with them.
It doesn't have to be every character as well. Each sequel. This is going to be a series. If it takes off. each sequel can introduce
I
one.
fucking hope so. I really, truly hope so.
And that's it. Do you think Piglet's dead? I'm not too sure.
No,
He may have just been
no.
knocked out.
There's no way
These
in
are
hell
tough.
he's dead. Yeah.
They are tough.
Yeah, I mean he's got to be alive.
Then we meet the. That was the other thing. The girls. Well, the supposed final girl, but not really. What do you call her? Maria or something.
Yeah, I forgot their
Her
names.
backstory was horrendous, and
Yeah.
just didn't get him. It's like there could have just been a bunch of girls going to party for the weekend.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't need it, but I mean, it was like that was legit fucking creepy. Like when
Oh
she
yeah, but
actually
it was
started telling the story, it's like
a
holy
different story
shit.
though.
Yeah, I don't think it was needed, but it was appreciated.
That could have been another story altogether. It just I don't see it fitting in with this. They just could have left that whole bit out because it really no relevance.
Yeah, because it wasn't necessary. Like, cool, anybody's gonna get scared when they're convinced there's an intruder in the fucking house. Like, you don't need to have a different reason to be scared. Plus, yeah, people just go fuck off on holiday sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not out of the realm of ordinary for people to just be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna take my crew and we're gonna go out in the middle of nowhere and fuck off for a weekend.
Is it this need to be the victim, and everyone has to be a victim these days? I have to have a fucking tragic backstory. Is it this thing that nobody can have fun anymore?
I guess
We're bitching about the younger generation, but it's like, is that really how they want to live? Like, that is miserable as fuck.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. It's like, yeah, oddly enough, I prefer to be happy.
I know it's mad, isn't it?
I mean, I'm a miserable motherfucker, but I still try to be happy.
I'm all right until I meet other people, and then I'm like, shit, why?
Right.
And when I can't disengage, as in when I have to go to a job and encounter someone that I'm no real interest in talking to, then I have them in my face, by my side, and I can't get rid of them. I'm like, why? Why do I have to do this?
Yeah.
That's when I am annoyed. But when I'm in my own little bubble, I'm getting on with things, happy as Larry. When I'm on here talking shite, I'm happy as Larry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm generally a happy person, which is another thing as well. I'm talking about with Andrew last night, whenever an author came on as a guest. Horror creators and fans tend to be the happiest people, just fucking loving life. Now, I'm not obviously conflating that with the attention-seeking social media dickheads, because they move into anything that, the same person will be in a horror group, but they'll be in a goth group, and they'll be in a vampire group, they'll be in something else. It's just that same person looking for attention. You'll get them everywhere, but genuine, like, horror fans just love life, because I think we'll see death and destruction in front of us, and it's just like, well, at least not them.
Well, it's a cathartic release. Like, you get all the bad out of your life by enjoying shit like this, so that you can appreciate everything else more.
Oh, that's it. When you're faced with absolute atrocities in front of you and just nasty, gnarly stuff, you're like, whoa, okay. And then if somebody's annoying you, just imagine that person being in the situation, and then it's out of your system. Rather than sitting holding on to it and trying to be a good person, I use that term loosely because there's nothing worse than the virtuous.
Yeah.
I'm having second thoughts because I put down here Lara. Obviously the character was on the hot tub. Character you love to hate, but I'm actually liking her now. If I think about it, she's a vapid, empty creature of social media.
Yeah, I couldn't stand her the first time I watched this. Second time, it's like, you know what? She's not as bad as I remember. I mean, she's still like one of those fucking people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, oh god, you're just so awful. But yeah, she wasn't that bad second viewing.
But after describing Maria, is it Maria? Oh, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we're gonna say it's Maria.
Yeah, we'll say it's Maria. I'm sorry if I got your character's name wrong. Don't. In fact, don't care about you. Fuck off. But yeah, after hearing her whining and misery, somebody putting on those dozy. I hate those fake eyelash things. I think they're the most ugliest things ever. But someone doing that and looking at social media doing a million selfies is not the worst person because they're just doing their shit.
Yeah.
And you can either look at them or not look at them. But someone like that, like a morale vacuum, the morale hoover comes in, you know, everyone's happy. And, I've got a miserable life. Just sucks it all out of the atmosphere. Can't be annoyed with those people. They're the ones that intrude in your space.
Well, and it's funny too because like she hadn't told anybody except for Glasses Girl.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why bring it up when you're out in the middle of the woods trying to not think about it? Like you're doing this to try to get away from that same place that you've been in because you still live in that flat, presumably, that the dude fucking broke into. So it's like, why bring it up? But yeah, I guess she needed the attention or whatever.
And that's the thing. It's the need for attention. Just coming from two arseholes that sit in camera, talking, broadcasting all over the show.
Right. We're an exception, god damn it.
I've always said, audience, like, yous are really inconsequential. This is just our hangout, and we're just having to broadcast it because then it feels like we're doing something productive rather than just sitting nerding out for an hour or so. I've always said that from the start. Yeah, if you come along, fair enough. But yeah,
you come along, that's awesome. If not, whatever, we're still fucking talking.
Yeah, that's it. And the whole thing of them coming into the house and we promised we'd leave our phones aside, and then I think that's a bit that turned me off. Laura, she had a freak out on the spot.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking funny. And the thing is, like, we all know somebody that's exactly like that.
Yes, we do.
I mean, I'm kind of that way, but I'm also a small business owner, so my phone stays on me and stays on because if the alarm goes off, I'm the only person that has access to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of that way, but you're not going to see me in the hot tub trying to take sexy selfies. It's that aspect you want.
One day we'll do a hot tub stream. Now
yeah,
we're on Twitch.
No, we will. It'll happen at some point.
Because that's the thing. What is it? The bath. They've got the hot tub thing stream or something, and they put an inflatable hot tub in their bedroom because apparently that's the way to get around their rules.
Huh.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. You know, that's going to happen. Sorry. just letting you know now.
Fucking A.
That'll be the truly horror show. Like, we're like, no, why?
Oh my God. It's so white.
But that bit was funny and just freaking out of the phones and like, okay. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, fine. Here, take it.
Oh,
I don't need it. Fuck you guys. And
here's another example of me going senile. I didn't actually realize till I switched my computer on. So I got up this morning and I, checked my phone. I went to switch my phone off the charger and accidentally switched my router off. So I've had no Wi-Fi all day. I didn't even notice.
Nice.
Until I switched on my computer and went, oh, right, what's happening there? And then I went over to the router and went, oh, I've switched it off. Like, I have went through today and not noticed that I've had no internet until I switched on to start getting ready for this.
That's funny.
Oh dear. But one thing sort of brought up is cinematography and the acting in this. This is like spot on. This is big budget movie type stuff. This does not feel like a low budget horror movie.
No, they did so well.
It shows you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like for the budget and the subject matter, you imagine it's going to be sort of like, almost like a full moon movie or maybe even like a trauma film, like something that you expect it just to be just barely over the top, that shitty acting is going to be okay. It's going to be acceptable. Shitty effects are going to be acceptable because you understand what to expect. But this one, man, it brings you in immediately, and you just kind of forget the fact that, oh, this is Winnie the Pooh, and oh, this is also like made for nickels and dimes.
Yeah, because this is a damn good story on its own. That's what I mean. Actually, this is something slashers should aspire to be.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, this proper dread and characters have purpose.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's I love. Oh Jesus!
Oh dear, pun
Yeah,
alert!
yeah.
Pun alert!
No, I'm
That was
super witty. I intended to say that.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was
because that was intentional.
part of the script. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you know these things are scripted because we have a writing team that spends, or that's why you get such a quality show.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that
One
is one
aspect
thing.
which I did not expect with this: how the hell did they manage to make eating honey like horrifying?
Right.
Like that actually made the eating the honey scene, like that's the most iconic thing with Winnie the Pooh, is a big jar of, which once again, how's he got honey?
I mean,
And
magic.
started-
It is what it is.
Um,
Okay, so here's what it is. This is the behind the scenes thing they didn't show in the movie. One of the first victims he had was actually an apiarist. So he didn't kill him, he just learned from him. So then ultimately they started raising bees. And yeah. Something.
yeah, I think
I don't know, but there's a fuck ton of honey around because why wouldn't there be? It's Winnie the Pooh.
yeah, for starving animals, you know what I mean? Just never mind. I can't let it go. It's
Well, and
in
I love the ritual of him and Piglet combining the blood and the honey in the mortar and pestle. It's like that's so stupid and unnecessary and great.
like there's somewhat. That's the thing. They've actually set this story up with layers that they haven't explored, and I don't know whether it was intentional or just their storytelling method has done that. But
See, I want to say it's like straight up like big dick energy. Like they're like, yeah, obviously we're gonna make a sequel, so we'll explain this shit later on, not right now. It probably wasn't that, but I'd like to believe that.
But that scene, and it just shows how good that mask is as well, because superficially and in the trailers, from a distance, it looks awful. But when you actually see him interacting and moving with it and eating and the tear and stuff, you're like, bloody hell, this is craftsmanship. But yeah, that whole scene, because there's a couple of scenes with the eating honey and stuff, and it's like, oh, bloody hell, that's...
Well, and he also usually has honey dripping from his mouth, and it's like, that's so fucking creepy. How is that so creepy?
But they did it. Like the most innocuous thing, the most innocent act, that turned into like a scene, and you're like, whoa, okay. What I'm really disappointed though, we didn't get a think. You know, I think that's maybe they couldn't get the voice actors, or they thought that them talking would have took away from it, but we didn't get the iconic line from Pooh when he's like trying to get himself, like if they had locked him up or something and he's trying to get out, you know, even grunting it, you know, and doing the tapping of the head or something, you know. I was just waiting for
that. Yeah. I feel like at the very end of the movie that would have been perfect.
Well, actually, no.
Like
there's
that's
another line at the end of the movie.
What's that?
His other line would have been perfect at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that should have been the one time they had him talk.
Yeah, that last bit with the cars and just saying "oh bother" would have been would have just
yeah, that would
right there. We'll have to talk about the boobs.
Yeah, they kind of did set it up to be
show.
really, really, as you put it, boobtastic. But yeah, you really only got it in the very beginning. I mean,
with the random character that didn't really.
Well, and the thing is, like going through the deleted scenes, the shit that they took out of her, like from her performance, it would have made her a little bit more. I guess it just would have made her getting killed a little bit more impactful, because in the deleted scenes, like she doesn't just get lost, she gets fucking lost. Like Pooh is hunting her before she even, fucking calls, like makes the first
Mm-hmm.
call. Like they're setting up traps all over the place. She's fucking stuck. Versus just like, oh, I'm lost. I don't know where I am. Fuck, there's a guy that looks like a bear. I should run.
Yeah, it was all very rushed just to create a character. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they could have kept a couple of those scenes in, because I mean, really, it was a pretty standard, or at least used to be standard.
If they had to cut out the stalker scene, that didn't add anything to the movie. Yeah, it was cool the way it was done, but that should have been its own. That was a story in its own.
Mm-hmm.
If they had taken that out and concentrated on the characters, so I think the editing suite has a lot to answer for. They've made some wrong decisions.
I mean, I don't know,
because this was bang on about an hour and a half, 90 minutes, so it wasn't too long.
It was 124 is what it was sitting at, an hour and 24, which is like the proper length for a fucking movie as far as I'm concerned.
So if I had to remove the bits of the stalker scene, and like I said, if there's more with Jill, sort of give her a bit of depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it
would. Then also the petrol station, when they called it fucking gas station, I was like,
oh. Yeah. Yeah, that caught me off guard too, especially because it's very clearly like you look at the pumps and they're liters, they're not gallons. So yeah, that was I kept, the first time I watched it, I was having a hard time. I'm like, okay, so is this a UK movie? Is this a fucking American movie?
Like, what it is, there's this element, and especially London, there's this element of arseholes that can't think for themselves. They think they have to look over the your side of the pond for everything, for culture, language. It's happening a lot. It's like,
wrong fucking place to be looking.
Stop it. And the thing is, they're so fake, and I mean, it's because they're empty vessels themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean you're automatically degenerating some other culture by embracing your own. I mean, that's why people look over here for culture. I mean, it's, oh, there's something different. This whole fucking attempt to homogenize everybody, that we're all have the same bland fucking Southern Californian accent, all over the world, is just shit.
Yeah,
and it's pointless, because that's what makes it interesting, is the differences.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know you did that. I didn't know that was your beliefs. I didn't know that was your rituals. Oh, cool. Tell me more. Yeah. Like normal people go, not fucking, oh, you're not exactly the same as me. I must hate you and cancel you. That's mental. But that's the point of being different. Is like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know who these guys are that made this movie, but it's like they're trying to pander in the wrong way, and that's what kind of lets them down a bit. Because they're talented. They made a good movie, so there was no need. They could have kept the flavor of where it was and the inspiration, which is like I said, just it takes you out for a second, like those little bits. But yeah, we had opportunities. Glasses Girl had her nips sticking out, so she was practically showing them anyway. The Lara character was throwing it all about, so there was more than enough opportunity for lovely voluptuous boobies to be all over the show and make this like rival Slumber Party Massacre. And we didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Why do it? But at least we got one set, so that's, gotta be.
Yeah, you gotta have at least a little bit of gratuitous.
I have to release I'm gonna have to like catalog the movies that we've done and have like a wee chart, boobies, not boobies, and do like a graph every month. And we'll do it for the talk spot. Okay, we are still on target. Click.
I gotta reorganize my movies, I guess.
That's it. 30%. Yep, we'll have to have 30% boobies and what we review combined for the channel.
Yeah,
little traffic light system, set up KP fucking channel KPIs. Never mind entertainment or anything.
Oh, that's great.
Oh man. I'm gonna have to talk about the gun.
Yeah, that was a fucking gun. Like, holy shit.
That was Desert Eagle's big brother.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a hell of a thing to just have chilling in your fucking sock drawer.
And not realize that you brought it with you and just only, oh, yes, that's right. I brought a fucking hand cannon.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting choice to have that
With,
versus like something you would actually hide in like a purse or something.
yeah, that was just out of there. It's like, and plus over here, you don't get a gun license. If you want to own a firearm, you have a license for each one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an individual. So say you buy a shotgun, you get a license for that shotgun, that serial number,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you got another one, a handgun, you get the license for that handgun. That's kind of the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
So to get something like that is just, and these aren't criminal. These aren't like East London gangsters or anything. You know what I mean? There's no way someone like her has the connections to get that thing and fire it. You know what I mean? Because they're all like 9 stone weakling. They're all like, little wafy things. There's no way you're shooting that one handed.
Yeah, that fucker's throwing you back.
Yeah. It was just funny. It's like, dude, what are you doing? There's no need.
I mean,
But
I thought it was hilarious. So
it was funny. Yeah, it was definitely funny. It was just like,
you gotta have a.
but they're not making a comedy. That's the thing. If this was set up as a horror comedy, I would get stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they've actually made a gripping drama. Like, this was a gripping drama, and that's what was fun. Is that they've taken a children's story and they've actually turned into a proper horror movie, because these are terrifying creatures. Let's be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, there's no dicking about here. So to do those daft scenes and things, just takes away. So I wonder who in their writing team, like, who's the weirdo? Because this is one person's idea, like the hillbillies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is one person inserting this. It has to be, because everything else is spot on, and this random shit keeps coming in.
I don't know. Like, I think it's fine because of just how over the top the idea of this is, anyways. Plus, I mean, it sets it up so they can go even more outlandish, like in the sequels.
Oh, there's going to be a minigun in the next one. Let's be honest.
I fucking hope so. That'd be fucking great.
Fucking Tigger on his pogo stick with a minigun, fucking mowing people down. Boing, boing. T.I. double gun.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh God, what was that one? Planet Terror.
Oh yeah, I love Planet Terror.
This is if it goes sort of Planet Terror territory, maybe save it for the third one.
Yeah.
Bring up the lore bit, and then the third one go Planet Terror, and then just make it like Sharknado afterwards, just absolutely madness.
Mm-hmm.
That would be. There is a potential for an underground franchise here, just
oh yeah,
that's going to rub a lot of people up the wrong way, which would be hilarious in itself. But fucking Digital Blood, come on. There's 2 scenes with Digital Blood in the second.
That is the one thing that I do have to say I was not a fan of with this movie, is their overuse of it.
It's like, because the practical in this and the effects, like the swimming pool scene, which is on the trailer anyway, but the piglet in the swimming pool with the sledgehammer. Oh, that was beautiful done. And then they ruined it with the Digital Blood afterwards. It's like, come on.
Well, and there were parts of the movie where they used it where they really didn't need to, like the wood chipper scene.
Yeah,
it would have been so much better because they already used practical blood anyways to get blood on Pooh's face. Like, why wouldn't you just run it?
You put a bunch of
guac cannon in that. And then the blood dripping on the honey pot when Christopher Robin first goes there.
Yeah,
it's like that was wholly unnecessary. We didn't need to see it dripping.
Yeah, it could have just been a wee bit of red around the top, nice and subtle. I don't know. That's what I mean. It seems to be there's an element in this. Maybe it didn't have faith in itself. Do you think there's maybe a bit of that? Because it's such an over-the-top idea and it was risky to make. Did they go with the safe options with some things here to try and sell it.
That's a possibility.
There's definitely an element that's inserted itself in this movie. And it's a jarring bit. You can tell it's been inserted to try and pander to a wider audience or something.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I suppose always going to be the way.
Yeah.
I didn't get the bees thing.
Yeah, that it seemed like they were trying to make it a big deal, but they never revisited it, so it was a little unnecessary.
Twice we get the bees buzzing, and then the second time, obviously, there were like attack bees, but I didn't get it.
Yeah.
There was more than enough in this.
That should have ultimately been like one of Pooh's special abilities or something.
I don't think I needed it.
Well, no,
there's
it didn't
more
need
enough.
it, but
there's more than enough in this movie with these two to make them like the strength alone and the slaps. Oh, like Pooh slaps are like actually
yeah,
getting
that
off
motherfucker can slap. I fucking love that shit at the end. Just bitch slaps that guy, rips his face off. It's like, yeah, that's
because he's a bird at the end of the day. So yeah,
well, I love that forced perspective too. Like, you know, they're all pretty much eye to eye, and then he just gets one too many hits and is like, all right, fuck this, I'm fighting back. And then that dude that he smacks, he's just, you know, towering over him. It's like, yeah, that's fucking good stuff.
Yeah, so they didn't really need the bees. That's what I mean. It's just one of them things that they've thrown in. So there's been unnecessary stuff put in this movie, and I think they've maybe taken out some really good plot stuff. Like with Joel's character, you know, because didn't really get anything from her at all, apart from her breasts. You know, there's missed opportunities there. So, don't know. Don't think it needs a director's cut.
I mean, I'd be interested to see what an alternate cut would be. I mean, just like the alternate ending alone was like way different.
Yeah, the ending of this was a bit weird.
Yeah.
But they're definitely setting up for a sequel. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. That was like the first thing I thought when I walked out of the movie was like, fuck yeah, I can't wait for the next one.
Winnie the Pooh versus Paddington.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Oh, but the thing is, if they're doing these, I'm watching Humpty Dumpty. That's
gonna happen. Yeah, the second that shit drops, that's gonna be my night.
If it's not out already, you know, that's
right.
That's on the cards.
Yeah,
but they've got an opportunity here to just do mad shit. Let's be honest. And I look forward to embracing it. Just they've got to have faith in themselves. There's a bit of uncertainty here. I know, obviously, it's an off the cuff idea. So many problems that people could just turn off it. I can understand maybe playing a safe bet, but they've had a success. Just don't go Terrifier 2 direction.
Yeah, definitely can't do the Terrifier 2 shit. Like, keep it reined in, keep it with the story. Like, there's Curse of Humpty Dumpty came out in 2021 apparently.
There we go. That's
but yeah, it's like, stick with the story and don't, like, of course, always add to the lore. You got to have a reason there's new characters, but like Terrifier 2 just it jumped the fucking shark. That's the only way to put it.
Yeah, that's the danger with us, you know, especially when we see the self-consciousness here, the bits of inserted, you know, just to be the generic it down a bit, which absolutely no need. But yeah, here's hoping that it turns out. But this is actually quite a short review.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it was a short movie. It was like an actual, like, proper length. Like, I like movies that are long because I like to enjoy it, but most movies don't need to be more than 80 or 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, period. There's no fucking reason. This one with credits, it was what 84, 85, something like that, and that's fine. That's all
Mm-hmm.
all it needed. Because it got the point across. It made me wanting more. Like it did its job.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad I watched this. I'm glad I finally got around to it. It was a bit. I think it was the initial reviews come in, kind of made me go, "Oh no, is this going to be terrible? I don't want to ruin the."
Mm-hmm.
It kind of put me off a bit. Made me reticent to jump in.
Yeah,
but I'm glad we did this. This is definitely a fun movie.
Yeah, man, I was pretty stoked that it was going to be showing in my area because we don't really get a whole lot of like fancy one night only screenings. Like you usually have to go to Salt Lake for that shit.
Oh,
so I was stoked that it happened, and then as soon as I went out, I heard that there was going to be more screenings of it. So I was hoping I could see it a second time in theaters, but didn't get that. But yeah, I was really fucking glad I went and saw it when I did.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just for my area is terrible for, but then again, I'm living out in the sticks, so gotta, you know what I mean? It's a trade off. Do you want to live in the middle of the city? No.
Yeah.
So you move out of the city, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm good out here. Yeah, I mightn't get to see everything in the cinema that I want, but that's a trade off.
Mm-hmm.
That's, thank goodness we got streaming and the other options.
Right.
There you go. Any final thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I do want to talk about a couple of things with the special features because, like, I honestly think it's worth buying. Like, if you like stupid fucking movies like this, it's worth buying. What's that?
Can you get it still? I thought it was sold out.
So the collector's edition, the one that I did the unboxing for, that sold out because that was pre-order only. And once the pre-order window closed, that was that. Like, there was no getting that. But you can still get the disc through Umbrella. But yeah, it's like, you know, the alternate ending, super, super dark. Like when a homegirl gets her head cut off, and you know, in the rest of the movie, that's when she takes off, and then they smash Pooh, blah blah blah. Didn't happen. He just lifted up the head. She turns around. She's pulling out. He fucking chucks it. It lands in the bed, and she drives off as they're announcing, you know, oh, this happened in the 100-acre woods, and you know, this manhunt is still going. Blah blah blah.
Oh, so did she escape in the alternate ending?
Yeah. She escapes.
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't in the original.
Yeah, definitely. It was so much better because then it sets up that Christopher Robin is the
it's
girl.
back to, you know, it's back to where it was.
Yeah.
These people just got in the way, but the real thing is between Pooh and the betrayal. And
yeah,
what a horrible character. He is a horrible character, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's supposed to be. You're supposed to hate him. Like, that's the thing. Like, you have to empathize with Pooh and Piglet, like what happened to them, and that's what makes them good characters and ultimately good villains, I think. But there's a little mini doc in the special features about the making of the score, and specifically a luthier made a violin to be put in a frame for a beehive, and the documentary is the guy that does the score going out to go pick it up and kind of explains, you know, it's a really nerdy fucking documentary. Like, it's a lot about bees, a lot about music, but just seeing the amount of effort that they put into just one tiny fucking aspect of this movie is just mind-blowing. Like, it gave me a whole other level of appreciation for this.
There's like Robert Eggers type, you know, attention to detail in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there was nothing but love in this, and yeah, I definitely recommend it. Like, if nothing else, it's worth it because I think that documentary, it's like 24 minutes or something like that. That alone is worth buying it. Yeah, it's so
I've watched nearly 2 hours worth of extra features. Clive Barker blaming the studio for his movies on a thing, so I'm like, okay. I think after that, you know, I was actually getting exhausted. What was it for? It wasn't Midnight Meat Train. It was for Nightbreed. When we were doing the Nightbreed review, I was actually getting tired going through all these special features because
There's
wine,
yeah.
and I'm starting to see the pattern, which we'll be talking about soon with our next installment.
Ooh, we're gonna be definitely saying something.
But yeah, that's the thing about streaming. You don't get the special features, so physical media
kind of. There's certain outlets will have them if you actually buy shit, like like Apple, like Apple Movies. You can get special features with some of the releases. Disney kind of, but yeah, it's like that's something that is just such a shame with physical media becoming essentially a boutique market. Is like special features don't really exist, and that was the whole fucking reason to watch it again. You went and saw it in theaters, enjoyed it, it comes out, you watch it again, and then immediately after you go straight to the special features tab and you spend your day going through everything. Like
it was like back to getting an album and you open up the insert and you read the lyrics and who wrote what song. It was an experience where streaming. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I love streaming. It's, I mean, the fact you've got a library and it's available and you can watch something that's fantastic. But definitely, physical media. There's still a place for it, and I think people need to realize that.
Yeah,
that you get so much more now, and if you're invested in a story or a particular franchise, that's where you get the whole background. Where social media is the shit stirring element. So you don't want to get the news from social media about anything. You want to actually hear the point of view from the creators and what they see, because social media is always spin.
Yeah,
it's never good. So, and like I said, just the little things of how they put things together. Do you think is there only people like us that actually care about stuff like that now?
Probably.
Like I've always been fascinated how things work, how they're put together.
Yeah, same. Because I mean, it's nice to know the story behind the magic, but we're also from a generation that, at least I can speak for myself. Like as a kid, I grew up watching like the behind the scenes of Star Wars, and that just blew my fucking mind. That obviously somebody had to make it. It's not like this shit just pops up out of the ether.
Yeah, but how they
actually seeing how the burger is made, it's like, this is fucking amazing, and it just makes you want to watch not only that again, but other things and learn how they made it. It's just the magic. Like we want to know how the magic happens.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with it. I just don't know. Once again, it's everyone just saying, "Oh, it's VFX. That's it. Green screen VFX."
Yeah.
Oh well, no, but all in all, fun movie. Definitely, it's good to see something like this coming out there. Just to, and if it winds people up, even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just a bonus.
Yeah, it's definitely, you guys got to check it out.
So there you go. There's a nice short one. We're not going for like their usual 3-hour fucking marathon.
That'll probably be next, or not next week, but the following week.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. So there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. Plenty of stuff coming up. We're getting busy again. You notice that the like goes quiet for a wee minute, and then we've got a load of streams all planned out. It's just the way this channel goes.
Right.
Anything coming up on your channels?
Yeah, if I can find some time. Supposed to be talking about the new seasons of Visions, or the new season rather of Visions. And now just kind of waiting for the next series to come out. Yeah,
well, there you go. Go up to the other camera stuff as well. Infernal Brotherhood, the Scruffy Nerf Herders.
Scruffy looking.
Scruffy looking. I was here. I'll
Who you calling scruffy looking?
And obviously do the typey clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy.
Keep it
horrific.